Hey, how's it going? I hope you're doing good. So I'm just getting a couple more snacks for the trip to Fred Meyer today. So I got FIFA 21 earlier today, but I haven't played it yet. So I got to try to get that. And yeah, it's just pretty much what I'm doing. So just getting everything ready here and then gonna get going. So let's see if I can get this so that it's, there we go. All right, so we're gonna get in the elevator. Gotta probably buy Carmex too. I looked for a way to get the soda delivery, but I couldn't really get the soda delivered, so. Hello, how you doing? Good. I'm gonna probably get a little bit of the camera to drop because I guess the clasp on the back, I don't know, I guess I could go online and look a little bit more, if it drops. Let me see if it's gonna drop. No, it probably won't drop that much. So wheel here. Why did I get that? what I'll do is I'll put my bag up here and then see if it just kind of rests on the bag so it doesn't rotate. And then I'll probably rotate back. So I have to rotate it to the diagonal. It's sort of the same. So let's see. So I'm going to bring it up, over, and then the bag will come like this. I have to move everything in it. Take a sip of water. Problem for me. So what you got to do is kind of, because I need this to, so this has got to get. That is somehow got to pinch over. What we do is we do a there we go. So what we basically do is doing a cross here. I don't know if I can make it today. I guess I can have a soda. I'm worried about getting rained on today. Hello? Try and make it a little bit farther. I don't know. Maybe I need the wood piece on top of this. It's kind of getting cold. I need a hat on. Jacket. So I'll wad this up like a ball. And then what I'll do is put this under here. And try to get the best position I can for this. All right. Sometimes when the weather's weird, you just need a hat and gloves and your arms will be all right. You know, you play baseball, you try to hit that baseball in the winter or when it's cold, even playing tennis. Anything where you contact a ball or you're holding something that vibrates real fast, you know, high impact, right? You know, when it gets cold, just real kind of brisk weather, it really makes an impact on your hands and your arms. So the batters wear the batter's gloves and batters wear the batter's gloves. I don't think you really wear gloves in tennis, but you know, you try to use maybe some of the shock absorbers, stuff like that, you know, just to kind of make it a little bit better, you know. So, so this cart, because it's metal and I got the, you know, the wheels are pretty hard on it. You pretty much just, so I'm not getting a full contact on that hand thing. So you pretty much just, you know, every time it goes over one of these bumps in the pavement or whatever, that little bit of vibration extra, you know, it really basically goes a long way. So somehow this rotate the phone just kind of keeps going off. So I got one hand on here trying to have a soda, walk down the road. Can't seem to get one hand on this cart. I don't know why. It's like everything is awkward on it. So I had to get better wheels on it because I guess the other wheels I had were the original wheels. They were black, solid sort of plastic rubber. But somehow somebody put a nut on the screw that they screw into the base. And so what that does is it creates basically a shaft of screw, right? That's part of a leg of the cart. And then anytime the wheels get banged or anything, you know, whatever part of that screw's hanging out, it becomes sort of like that level of metal of a leg. And so when the wheels get bent to the side and stuff, because they put that nut in it, that nut on the screw to separate from the base. These are smaller wheels, and they also didn't have the nut on them, so they go flush against the bottom of the leg. So there's not that separate, screw leg that can get bent. And so it works a lot better. I don't anticipate these wheels bending unless it's the wheels themselves or the guides themselves for the wheels. The problem is it's about 2 or 3 inches shorter. So instead of kind of having something about whatever the comfort level is for hands-on guiding the cart, right, you end up with something that's quite a bit lower, puts a little bit of different pressure on your back. There goes a squirrel running across the parking lot. So you inevitably just have a little bit of a different function. Maybe you lean over, or you get a little bit more tired or whatever. I'm hoping it doesn't storm on me today. I'm just going so slow. It's like you get caught in that spring rain. It's still cold from the winter. It gets cold at night, sort of warm on some days. You get a rain going, you start getting to be real cold. Constant stomach ache on this walk, I tell you. So, take another break. I'm getting a lot of rotate your phone problems here. So getting a pattern, I gotta stop doing that. It's not gonna be good anymore. It's not gonna be the same. It's not gonna taste the same. Go buy it this week. Oh man. I don't know. I can only feel the whooshes right now. It's like I'm trying to make it. Getting more rotate your phone problems there. Oh, man. It's like I would need this cart to be big enough to be a bed, so I could just stop the cart for a minute, sleep in it, take a little nap, let my body cool down. And then when it was time to move on. Of course, you got the rain, and you got, sanitary needs. You all of a sudden you're laying down on the cart sleeping. You're like, I gotta go to bed, or I gotta go to the bathroom or whatever. It ends up becoming a sanitary need. You're like, I'm curled up on my cart. I can push it relatively easy, but I'm far away from the bathroom. A lot of times you go to sleep, you wake up, you got to go to the bathroom. It becomes a secondary, a third thing, right? So, the cart's strong enough and light enough. A lot of times they say the cart's rated for 300 pounds. I weigh more than 300 pounds, but lot of people, you push a cart. It's so nice outside. The air outside is so much nicer than what it is in the apartment sometimes. I remember being like that in New York, It's like those old monkeys, Monkeys and Beatles like TV show ads where they're wheeling the bed out onto the street, the big sidewalk with the bed. You're like, man, the air outside is so nice. I mean, I guess if there's a lot of cars going by, it's not as nice, but you get a nice breeze. You wheel out the bed on a fall day or spring day. You're like, man, there's nothing better than just taking a nap in this type of weather. Of course, you get heavy street traffic, you get the exhaust coming through, the dustiness. Sometimes it's not as good. And obviously, you can't just wheel a bed out onto the sidewalk. But when you're talking about the air in the apartment, it gets crampy, the crampiness. You're like, man, why don't I just get this cart to be long enough to take a nap on? It holds my weight. You wheel it outside, you just curl up, take a nap. Then again, you need cushions and something comfortable for your back, some pillows, right? Pretty soon you're like, well, it was kind of fun once, but it's going to be kind of a big deal now, if it's going to be a regular thing, that's the biggest thing, is it a one-off or just once in a while, whatever, is it going to be a regular thing? You're like, well, pretty soon companies are going to start putting, making cart cushions, cart mattresses, cart pillows, right? You got to start doing separate laundry loads for everything. It's not just like, oh, I'm going to wheel this cart out, going to wheel this cart outside and take a nap that feels so good in the fresh air. It's like I got to go to Target, buy $59.99 cart cushions, pillow packs, and all that stuff. It all comes together, right? 2 cart cushions, 2 cart pillows, 2 cart sheets, 2 cart pillow cushion cases. Then you got to you're like, all right, well, wash the cushion pack, the cart cushion pack and everything. Then you go out one day, you're like, all right, I got it all. All of a sudden the sun starts beaming down into your eyes. You're like, uh-oh, what do I need now? Do I need a cart umbrella to block the sun? I got to have a cart umbrella to block the sun. It's, inexpensive one's $29.99. You want a nice one, it's $89.99. Then you got to say, well, does this umbrella attach to this cart? Are they made by the same company? What's the deal with it? Maybe I'll just get inexpensive. Oh, here's one. It's $9.99. I'll get this one. It's cheap. I can basically sort of attach it to the side. It fits the budget today. It's not a big deal. It's not going to be that sunny. Right? So then the next day you go outside, right? You're like, all right, I got the $59.99 cushion pack. I got the $9.99 umbrella pack because the sun was so bright. Now you go outside, you're like, it's windy. It's so windy. Why is it so windy? The umbrella's gonna snap down. Now I gotta buy another $9 umbrella. It's already bent, out of shape. What am I gonna do? With a $9 umbrella bent out of shape? I gotta go back to Target. The whole thing, the whole day is wasted. This is the second day it's been wasted. The first day, it was bright sunshine in my eyes. Now I got the umbrella. Now it's too windy. I got to go back and I can't really return the damaged umbrella because of the wind. So I got the $59.99, the $9.99, and now I got a wind problem. Hasn't really been raining. Maybe it's going to rain. It hasn't actually rained. So what do? There's not really anything to stop the wind, right? So this fun adventure of being outside to take a nap is sort of taking a nasty turn. We got a new cart that holds my body. It's long enough to take a nap on. After using sort of old blankets and stuff, we went out and bought a sheet set for $59.99. Now we added another $9.99, whatever the tax is, wherever you live. Now we seem to have a new problem with the wind that can't be solved. Really not sure what we're going to do now. So yeah. It definitely looks like it's going to storm today. I'm going to bring it back wet soda cases. It's going to be a little bit of a problem, a little bit of a challenge. I think I can do it. Sometimes, somehow maybe the rain will make me feel better. You play those soccer matches when I was a kid on whatever field, those dusty, heavy, muddy fields or the rocky fields. We had played in this real fast field at Enitai. Basically had little rock gravel, but it wasn't like mixer gravel or heavier gravel. It was like a fine gravel. The ball was so fast on the pitch or the field, whatever. I don't know if it classified as a pitch. I think it had a little bit of a crown. I don't know. And so the passes would be fast. The ball also would bounce really high. I don't think it was pavement underneath. It was just a compact, hard field with these little kind of sharp rocks. They couldn't really cut you, obviously, but if you fell, you'd scrape. So you wanted to wear, knee pads, or you probably didn't want to, goalies wear the elbow pads, right? But if you went down, you had to wear the knee pads because your knee would definitely get skinned up, But it was really, at the time, I could have sworn I thought it was high quality, sharp, small gravel. And it was fun to play because it was like I don't know how to explain it. It was like a fast track, but not the spongy, tiring, hard cement track, right? It was just, you could really run fast. You could almost run too fast. Sometimes your heart gets going so fast, you're just sprinting up and down, up and down. You're like, I'm getting like a little bit of those shocks and tingles in my body. I got to slow down. I got to stop. But how do you do it when you're a kid, right? That's the weird thing about being a kid, going in to be a teenager or whatever. It's like, you as a kid, you're like, kids can't run too fast, you get tired or you decide to stop, right? Adults, 40 years old, whatever, like, hey man, don't try to run as fast as you think you can because your body will break down. You'll have a problem, a heart attack, whatever. And it's sort of like an early teen, 10, 11, 12 years old. You're like, you sort of just realize you can't run as fast as that kid there, run so fast or whatever. But you also, say, I should constantly sort of test my limits, like run as fast as I can, right? You don't have any lethargy really at all in terms of concept, right? The concept of lethargy, right? Like, okay, we're going to run 5 miles. Let's run at a slower pace so we can make it there. As opposed to just trying to run and run and run, right? You immediately, as a teenager, older teenager, whatever, you're like a sprint versus a jog versus a run. 10, 11, you're sort of like, it's just a distance thing or whatever. Do we feel like having fun, right? If we have fun, we'll just stop, run more, whatever. You get to be older, like lethargy is really a thing. You're like, there's definitely no way I can make it that far. So what I'll do is start out walking, let my body warm up, and then start running slow. If I feel better, I'll run faster. Let's see if I can make it, right? Training, repetition, consistency, advances in the body over time. Not in total performance, just in endurance and stamina. I've done this before. My body seems to perform like this. I won't go too fast here, I'll go slower here. Seem to make it through the race a little bit better. But when you're 10, 11, 12, it's like full. But at some point you're like, whoa, I don't know, man, maybe I should slow, or, what's the response? I have to soon get an understanding of lethargy, distance, stamina, endurance, and wear and tear on my body, right? You know, the only exception to that I would say is if there's a fast broken leg, right, or broken arm, right? You got to go to the doctor. They have to set the bone. You know, you got to get a cast, right? You got this cast for 4 to 6 weeks. You're like, this is a whole new thing. Now I really understand sort of the fracture process of the body. You know, maybe no sports, or you know, what does this mean? You know, for you know, if you're in a training program or you've got tournaments coming up or whatever, you know, you're thinking, wow, the body really can't crack and break, right? The only thing really beyond that is, you know, sort of eyesight loss, right? You know, so much of the time as a kid, something will get in the eye, right? A little bit of dust or an errant finger, you know, or something will poke you in the eye. You're like, I have like no eyesight. You know, this in the very short term is like an immediate end to not just sports and athletics, but to everything, right? It's like, pow, you know, I'm really in pain. I got to hold this. I cannot even know what my whereabouts are. Defending myself, playing the game, stopping the shots, defending the striker, you know, the ball, the forward, right? There's just none of that. I gotta immediately stop the game. And then that pretty much turns into, wow, I got my eyesight back. I actually feel okay. I probably shouldn't put anything, you know, sour in it, like orange, you know, like I shouldn't handle the orange slices or, you know, rub my eyes with the orange slices or anything, or lemon, or even worse, right? But I think I feel okay. I think I can play the rest of the game. I just need to take a 5 or 10 minute break. Now everything's great. You know, there's a little bit of soreness, redness on the skin around the eye, but, you know, I didn't get hit, you know, like with an elbow or a fist or whatever. It was just pretty much a poke to the eye. Now that my eyesight's returned, I have a little bit of discomfort in the skin, but everything's fine. I just kind of keep playing the game. But it's so easy to forget, you know, 5-10 minutes and that eye's recovering. You know, you really go down to almost no eyesight. It's like, man, that could, you know, I don't know. I mean, there's no way to really conceptualize that as a permanent injury, because within 5 or 10 minutes, you're playing on the field again. You know, there's literally no difference. So it just ends up being like a concept at work, right? Some type of bamboo type of stick in the sidewalk there. Such a nice day. You really don't get a much better day than this in the Pacific Northwest. Cloudy gray sky notwithstanding. If it doesn't affect your mood, there's nothing better than this. Cool 50, maybe rain, maybe not rain. That's about it. Wind. The blue and gray sky get you a little bit depressed or whatever. You know, you just need to step into one of those brightly lit coffee shops, man. Sit down with that laptop, you know, the Apple MacBook, whatever. Connect to Wi-Fi. Have a coffee, man. Do a little bit of so-so work, you know. Check the emails, look what the spreadsheet says. You know, you know, work at the coffee shop, see what something's like, you know, look around, try to see somebody from the office or whatever. Oh, it's 2:30, but it's time to head back to the office. You know, I'm gonna go get in my car or walk back to the office for a little afternoon break. You know, feel better. 3:30, 4 o'clock rolls around. Man, the exhaust off that truck was terrible. You're like, oh yeah, you know, just head on home on this afternoon. Whatever people do, you know. Take the bus, the train, you drive home. Traffic, no traffic, family, kids' soccer practice, whatever, you name it. Pick up the groceries, go out to dinner, whatever people do. It's definitely raining right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna actually leave the jacket off. Give myself kind of a wash cool here. Somehow putting on the jacket, I'll start sweating again. I'll lose the camera activity. I can kind of warm up in the store. I can almost act like this is a mountain summer rain as opposed to a harsh spring rain. I'm gonna hit the button here. Isolates the body. You feel a little bit cooler, a little better throughout. Heat in the body and everything external starts pumping off so much. Eventually you're like, let's just let the whole thing kind of cool down a bit. So go down here and see if there's a second entry. I think there is. I can go across as opposed to going by these stores here. It feels so much better. It's like going swimming in a swimming pool or, you know, running outside in those soccer matches in the fall. All that cool air just somehow makes you feel so much better. I'm getting a lot of wind on these bags. I don't know how they blow out of here. They've got a plastic handle on them. They're sort of a silver color. How on earth is that happening? It's like, you know, you need isolated heavy winds in a 1 foot square area. So you just gotta wipe it off on your shirt. It doesn't really make any sense. So I'm gonna have to carry him under my arm. So much of these weather patterns are such stringent weather patterns is basically what we got. I mean, it doesn't seem to be very possible for a bag like this to blow away in the center track. That's the way it is. Comes a big Bud Light truck. Post Malone doing the ads for the Bud Light. You get the beer trucks, the marketing, the refrigerated. It might not be refrigerated, but the side bays. Roll up the side bays. Unroll the beer in the cases or whatever they used to. I know they used to be kegs a lot. Now a lot of the cases, the bottles, the cans. here. And that's not just crazy funny. I'm telling you, when I go in the grocery store, I'm gonna have that backward shock. It heats up, and then you'll feel the dampness, the wetness of the clothes. Right now, I don't really feel it. That's the best part about t-shirts. Even this, it's sort of like a t-shirt, basically. It gets a little wet and damp when you're outside, you're running, you're flowing around. It doesn't really feel wet or soaked or clingy. When I go inside Fred Meyer, I'm gonna get that immediate response of like the shirt warms, the weather warms, everything basically just, gets damp and wet. You're like, oh man, it's too warm in here. Oh, no problem, buddy. Yeah. So we're definitely getting more of the rain now. Head on in here. We're under the cover a little bit. We're going to stay out in this cool weather. Put the grocery bag back underneath in the second row here. We won't have the wind in this little drive-through area. Smells good here. I got sort of a rock garden here for landscaping. Used to be a big ski run in Sun Valley, Idaho, rock garden. I can't remember where it is. Ironically, most of the time it didn't have enough snow on it. So it really was a rock garden. But when it snowed a lot, it was kind of like, I think the upper 3/4 right, sort of, there's the bowls, and then off the right or left, kind of a 3/4 slope. Not in degree, just in terms of how it bends off sort of a ridge, and then the chairlift goes right up it. So you can ski sort of under it, and then go down sort of to the left. When it snowed a lot, it was kind of fun, right? Kind of show off a little bit, hit the moguls, try to do some of the jumps, stuff like that. But the rest of the part of the year was crusty and hard. I didn't really want to ski it. No way to get the snowmaking equipment over there. I mean, I think eventually they did, but it gets sort of that icy, sort of heavy crust sound on the edges of the skis. People are trying to edge their skis, make their turn. You hear that down the mountain, right? You had to have good tuned skis for it. People used to talk about skiing and say, oh, I caught an edge. You're going down a slope like that. And then the ski just catches and takes out from you on the right. Keeps making the turn wider and wider. Your legs get separated. You get a stretch in the groin. Your knee goes out. You're like, I'm hoping this ski pops out of its binding. Because sometimes the bindings get so loose, you pop out anyway. You want it in kind of that sort of that heavy snow. That fluffy sort of heavy snow that's not quite powder. Not really choppy either, just really good Colorado skiing, basically. And then if it gets heavier, you're like, you know, you catch an edge or whatever, you're like, I gotta have this ski pop out. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So. Last one we'll get. I'm at a loss here. 3. Okay. What I can do, sort of rotate this. I can get a little bit of extra. Think about what are the groceries you want. The only thing I can really think of dropping stuff. Garbage. Getting a low battery there. Hold on 1 minute. It was just in this aisle. Oh, here we go. right. All right, I'm going to end there. I had a low battery earlier. I hope you're doing well. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.